This week's been busy at the sanctuary, working on trails, harvesting food for the beavers, and putting the final touches on the first of our 3 transfer gardens. And of course the beavers are busy too, building a new pond, but I don't think they take precautions to not disturb the other wildlife as we do. But of course, we still take time to appreciate the fall foliage. And sometimes it seems that the fruits and seeds are as interesting, if not more so, than the flowers they came from. Historically speaking, last week should have been the peak of the songbird migration, but we've gotten more this week than we have yet this season. Last week, we got 1 blue-headed vireo through, our first, and this week we've had about 6 of them. However, their cousins, the red-eyed vireo, have consistently been coming through here, and still continue to. We probably average about 3 to 5 per day. Personally, I have difficulty seeing the red eye that they are named for, but sometimes if they turn their head just right, it can be visible. The Nashville warbler is another songbird we consistently see passing through here. And the Tennessee warbler is another one, although neither bird tends to linger out in the open like this one is right now. In the fall, Tennessee warblers are fairly nondescript, but notice the faint line through the eye, the mostly yellow undersides, and the long primary feathers extending from the wings and the short tail. Here is a black-throated green, taking breaks from insect catching to preen himself a little bit. Most songbirds migrate through the night, so by morning they are hungry and tired. We have several hot spots on the sanctuary that are just teeming with bird life early in the mornings. But within a few hours of sunrise, the places fall silent and the birds are nowhere to be found. When trying to observe nature's phenomena, timing is everything, but at least the timing is fairly predictable. Palm warblers came through in large numbers this week. This is a fairly drab bird, especially for a warbler, but can be easily identified even at a distance by the incessant bobbing of its tail. Despite its tropical-sounding name, it resides farther north than most of its warbler relatives. The palm warbler breeds in northern Canada and winters in the American South or the northern Caribbean. I'm not sure where the palm warbler got its name, because all the information I've read about it says that they are not often found in palm trees. Every day, especially through the migration seasons, we log all of our sightings into eBird. eBird is a database created by Cornell University in which regular citizens can log their data into it and anybody can review it. One day, we sighted 4 brown thrashers, which must be rare because when I logged it into eBird, I was flagged and questioned at the unusually high number. It was a nice reminder of what a special place the sanctuary is. It goes to show that all of our work toward habitat enhancement is really paying off. Later that same day, this indigo bunting reminded us of the beneficence of our work. She is eating the seeds of the bunch grass that had been intentionally planted here several years earlier. The raptor migration is beginning to pick up and should continue to do so as we progress into the fall. This is a merlin, a member of the falcon family. I saw one a couple of days prior to this sighting at a cemetery, which is not an uncommon place to see them. They tend to prefer open areas with high perches. Perhaps our most common raptor, the red-tailed hawks, have also been passing through here lately. The dark undersides and the not-so-red tail reveals this one to be a juvenile. As is often the case, this one didn't get much of a chance to rest before being chased off by crows. Their large, broad wings make them excellent soarers. They seem to fly gracefully with very little energy expenditure. We found an Acria caterpillar this week. They are commonly known as salt marsh caterpillars, but this is a bit of a misnomer. They were named in Boston because they fed on salt marsh grass. However, they are found throughout North America and not often in salt marshes. And I am curious as to how this woolly bear met its fate. And I've been finding more red-legged locusts this week. At least I think. The species is variable in color and size, and there are many species in the same genus that look similar. So next week, I think I'll try to look at even more grasshoppers and ponder it more deeply. Not as common, but can still be easily found, are the straight-lanced meadow katydids. And this tiny little grasshopper is the northern green-striped grasshopper, but a nymph. It is one molt away from becoming an adult. It will probably overwinter in this stage and emerge the next spring and molt and be ready to breed. And I found some more red F's this week. 3 in one spot, although the third scurried off too quick before I could get a picture of it. And of course, there's been some interesting fungi this week, such as this hemlock varnish conch. the chicken of the woods is maturing a little bit more. And this is an artist conch, named for the soft bottom that's easily drawn on with a stencil. And I stumbled upon a fresh new patch of the gem-studded puffballs. And this fungus, commonly known as orange jelly or orange witch's butter. And there were a couple of mushrooms that I was not able to identify. And that wraps up another good week at the sanctuary.